So I'm a high schooler, and I'm homeschooled. I may have mentioned that before, but in the current history curriculum I'm doing, I was assigned this book called Elatsoe. It was really good, and my mom told me to make a video about it, which I was going to do anyway, so cool. I'm going to go over some information about the author, a recap of the book, and the thoughts I have on the book. So the author of Elatsoe is Darcy Little Badger. She's a Lipan Apache Native American who grew up in Texas. She wrote Elatsoe as her first published novel and wrote a second one called A Snake That Falls to the Earth, which I haven't read that one. Elatsoe features a queer Native American character, which is right up my alley. Both of her books have won some really big awards. Elatsoe even featured as one of the top fantasy novels of all time in the Time magazine. So I'm going to move on to the actual book. I'm going to be covering some really big spoilers since this is technically a book report. But I'm going to have a short non-spoiler synopsis first, and if it sounds like something you would be interested in reading, I highly recommend you do, because it's really good. So here's the short synopsis. 17-year-old Lipan Apache girl Elatsoe has a dream in which her dying cousin tells her that he was murdered and needs her to help protect his family. The book takes place in a world almost identical to our own, except it has magic, which can be used by some people. There are psychics, shapeshifters, vampires, people who can create light, and people like Elatsoe who can summon ghosts. It's basically a fantasy murder mystery, and it's really different from any fantasy or murder mystery that I've ever read. Again, I would highly recommend you read it before finishing this video. So like I said before, our main character Elatsoe dreams that her recently dead cousin told her to protect his family from his murderer, who he says is named Dr. Abe Allerton. Elatsoe, also nicknamed Ellie, tells her parents about her dream, and they agree to help her investigate the supposed murder. They all go to Texas to stay with Trevor's wife, Lenore. They spend a few weeks investigating Dr. Allerton, and they find out he uses a medical practice in which he transmits one person's severe injuries and illnesses to another. And the main people who benefit from this are, who would have guessed, rich white people. In the wake of this discovery, the vengeful side of Trevor's spirit decides to haunt Allerton's house during a big party and turn it into a bloodbath. Ellie and her friends go to the house to stop him, and Ellie ends up trapping Allerton in the underworld. This is a very simplified version of the story, but that's pretty much the gist of it. There's a lot of things that I didn't mention, like Kirby the ghost dog and that kind of thing, but yeah, I left out a lot of details, but that's the general idea of the story. So here are my thoughts. Overall, incredible book. It was a good length, had a lot of really interesting and well-written characters, and had a really cool premise that was executed almost perfectly. The themes of people with a lot of power and money being able to get away with basically whatever they want, even if it hurts others, was really hard-hitting. Like, essentially, the whole town, including the police and other authorities, knew what Allerton was doing and actively tried to hide it. I really liked how Elatsoe and her family basically had to take the situation into their own hands because no one else would really do anything. And even at the end of the book, the characters know that there are more people like Dr. Allerton who will keep harming innocent people. And that's something that's really prevalent in real life, too, where people of power know that people who are below them are being wronged and suffering, but they won't step in because either they benefit from the people suffering, they're unwilling to rock the boat, or they just don't care. I don't really have any major criticisms for the story. I guess the pacing could be a bit off at times, and I really would have loved to see more of the world that the author created. But other than that, the book was generally just very good, and I would highly recommend that you read it. So that's my book report for Elatsoe. I know that these last few videos have been a bit different, but I'm trying to get into more fandoms and expose myself to more stories. I'm still going to be making my regular Gravity Falls and Chicken Scratch content, though, along with some new and different stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to like and subscribe because my channel isn't doing very well right now. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.